Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums, 'tis I, Captain of the Steves, and today, chums, I want to try and make a Corvette that looks a little bit like an Alpha Vector, like one of these type of ships. So I've already jumped into one of my saves. This is the save after I completed the expedition, the one that I'm giving away all those orbital uplinks, where I've got quite a few free ship slot free. So let's jump on over and let me show you what I've actually built, people. So let's go into the old camera mode and let's spin this around. So this is what I've built, and I think it looks fairly similar to the old Alpha Vectors. It almost looks like an Alpha Vector crossed by a boxed wing Viper. I kind of feel that this looks really quite cool and apt. I think this looks very in keeping with the old style of ships. It'd be nice if the wingtips faced down rather than up, but other than that, I think this is fairly on point. And the way that you get in this ship and traverse this ship and all the habs that you can have in it, I think are really quite useful. So I've actually used this as a landing bay, you know, rather than a ramp. And you just hit this little switch over here, boom, and up we go. We're inside of the ship. Now down this way I've got a little kitchenette there, like a neutron processor. This side I've got a med bay just in case I could take damage on the old planet, and then over here I've got a load of storage silos, storage containers. All the way down here either side of the ladder I've got some plants planted out. I've got some cactus and some frostwort there, and over here I've got some mordite growing over there. So you can make some very basic plants and stuff and nutritional things that you can swap for nanites using those. Up here I've got my mission board, and I've got a refining unit, I've got a little bed for me, and I've got another med bay there. So yeah, pretty darn sweet, and we can just head on out inside of the Alpha Vector. Let's fly on out inside this gorgeous looking ship. And yeah, look, the actual front view, it almost looks like the Alpha Vector cockpit. You know, you could be quite, you know, almost like a Viper cockpit more so. But you've got that long nose there as well that you're looking down as you're flying. It feels very reminiscent to the old ships. Let's pop into camera mode quickly. And I've tried to make the colours fairly on point with the old Alpha Vector, you know, the red and the white, and also my logo colours, of course. But I think that looks really quite decent. I don't know about you guys in the viewerverse, but I think that looks pretty spot on. And it's got all the guns on there that you need. It's got the rockets and things. I really wish that they would pair up the rockets with the rockets rather than the Cylotron. But I've gone for this weathered type look. I really like the engine setup on this. So yeah, I'm going to jump back into my other save. I'm going to archive a ship, and I think I'm going to build this inside of my legacy save as well, because I actually really like this. I think this looks pretty darn cool, and it could be my everyday Corvette inside of my legacy save. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how I built this, so stay tuned if you want to know how I actually built this ship. I'm going to be loading in, like I say, and sorting things out. Right, so I'm inside of my normal save, and now I've got to try and work out what ship I want to archive. And I don't really want to archive that beautiful ship that I'm already in, my droid. I like that one. I quite like my guppy as well. This is quite a hard choice now, people, of which one do I archive. And I want to keep my side-railed Viper, which is kind of what the actual ship looks like. In fact, I might try and recreate this one, and rather than do the extended wings, do maybe side rail wings. Maybe I might be able to make the Viper inside of it something a little bit more like this. Don't know, we'll see. You know what, I think I might archive off this guy, my Razor Vulture. Yeah, we're going to archive off the Razor Vulture. What have I got in there storage wise at the moment? Good, nothing inside of its... oh, there is a load of stuff inside of its storage. Alright, well I'll try and free up some of this stuff, and then I'll reconvene. Okay, right, so to then store stuff, you need to go to this console here. It says Manage Fleet. It's got a little hologram of a frigate on it. And then you go to Manage Starship Archive. And what I want to archive is my ship that I'm actually in right now. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I need to get out of this ship. And, yeah, okay. Alright, well I could just... active ship, that's the one that I've got right now, right? I don't know why it's named differently though. Makes it a little bit weird to know what I'm doing exactly. Alright, well, leave it with me. Ah, here we go. Here's the Razor Vulture. Archive. Yeah. There you go. I archived that. The Razor Vulture's in there now. So I should have a free ship slot. Alright, sweet. Okay, we can go make our ship over to a station. You see, this is the ship that I was kind of modelling the previous one on, which is this, the Victory of the Void. Kind of modelled it on this. It kind of has box engines rather than round engines. But yeah, I could try and make something that looks more like this. With the side rails. I think I could probably make something that looks like this. Let's fly this in as our sort of like a model. So although that you saw the Alpha Vectory type one at the start of this video, I mean, I'm going to be making one that looks more like my Viper, I think. Alright, I'll see you in the station. Now, chums, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one wing that looks just like the Alpha Vector, the previous ship that I showed you at the start. And then I'm going to make the other wing look a bit like my boxed Viper. And then sort of work out what I want to do. Okay, create new Corvette. So here we go. First thing we want to do is we want to put down the landing gear. Now, if it has got a long nose, I'm going to be putting one out there. And then the other two, do you see just inside of here? Like, one there, one there. Then I like the ambassador walkways. So I'm going to stick one there, one in between there. Now you need to have the sort of like the little landing, the thing to come down. So stick that in there, easy peasy. And then I want to have the cockpit up here, which I need to first join it on there. So boom, and then the cockpit, which is that one, I'm going to stick there. Now if you do want to make the nose long, you know, you can just put in an extra one of these little mini ambassador walkways, and then when you go into here you can put in the end cone, which is going to be something like that, if you're making like the Alpha Vector, you know. Now if I'm making the Viper, I need to make that slightly shorter perhaps, and maybe go for something that looks more Viper-esque than Alpha Vector-esque. But yeah, that's pretty darn cool. Right, so now I need to build up the engines at the back here, so I'm going to stick this on here as well, and that. Cool, now for the wings. Now if I was to make an Alpha Vector, what I want to do is I want to put that there, and that there, and then I want to delete that. No, actually, I delete that, and I put on the wing tips. So the wing tip is... wing tip, wing tip, wing tip is there. So if I swap that round there like that, put that there, then if I delete that out, it's not connected anymore. But as soon as I put in this heavy engine, swap it round the other way, not that one, it was the other one, this one that I used. When you swap it around and put it in, that one that's red should turn like that. So that's if you want a short wing on it. If you do want a longer wing, you can put another hab there. So if I go back into here, get this little ambassador walkway, you can delete that out, put this ambassador walkway in, but you have to do it beforehand. So you delete this engine, and you go pow and pow, and we can get the actual tip of the wing, put that round there. That's kind of in the wrong place. It moved at the last second. Put that there, and then if I delete that, I can put in that engine that I had before, which was that one there, and it should all join together. Now that's all joined together like so, you can then put in your additional sort of like engines on the back. I think I went for this one and put it there, and that kind of completes the wing for making the actual Alpha Vector wing. But because I want to kind of make this a heavy Viper with the side rails, a little bit like my ship over there, I'm going to be mixing this up a little bit now. But that's how I did the wing. You kind of have to just delete sections out to do it. So there we go. That's how I actually did the actual wing previously. But now I want to make it a little bit shorter on the nose. And I want to put in a nose cone that's a little bit more fitting. In fact, this would probably look good round the other way, wouldn't it? You know, like that. That'd probably work for a Viper nose. I'd end up with two entrances, But I can keep that closed most of the time, can't I? You know? But that gives me the shape that I want. And it also gives me an alternative entrance into my ship, which is fairly cool. Why is this showing up red for? I don't know why that's going red. No reactor installed. Fine. Well, we're going to be sitting in the side rail. So this is new territory for me now, people, because now I've got to build the side rails and all that sort of shenanigans. I'm wondering whether this might actually work or serve a purpose. It does look kind of cool, that. But is it in keeping with this? It could work. You see, on the outside, it could work on the outside. So I need to put the side rails in first. But where this might fit is somewhere around there. You know? So if I swap that round there, and put that there, that might work. And then I've just got to put in the side rails going down the edges here. I don't think put another one there will really work out for me. You can see that it's also going into those hab zones at the back. If I want those habs to work, I don't really want something that ingresses too far into them. So maybe the side rails would be better serviced with something like this. I'm going to have to keep going back and looking at these. They're kind of offset slightly, aren't they? They've kind of got a little bit of a gap. I don't know how I'm going to achieve a little bit of a gap there. Okay. Alright, well let's have a look-see. I'll see what I can do with this, but it'd be nice if we could get those on the edges over there. I mean, actually it hasn't got any of those sort of wings on it, has it? So that's okay. Alright, well leave it with me. I'll have a little play and I'll come back to you once I've tinkered a bit. Okay, chums, well I found these. Now if I was to put... These are engines. So if I put one there and put one there, at least I think they're engines. They look like engines, don't they? I don't know whether they're engines or not now. What the fudge? Oh no, they're Titan wing modules, so maybe I don't want those. I mean, actually, could leave those there for now. I mean, they look fairly box standard, don't they? They look pretty cool. Alright, well, I'll leave those there for a second. We'll see what else we can put in. I mean, I did think I was putting in these. That's what I thought I was putting in. In fact, yeah, let's swap those out for these. No, I want to continue working. The amount of times I do that, it's really annoying. So if I graft that there, and then graft that there, let's just get the engines sorted quickly. So what I've got is I've got a big round engine on the back of my ship. So I want that, definitely. That needs to go there. And then under here, maybe we could put in... I really like these double thrusters in connection with that. I think that looks really cool. But then what we could do is just sandwich in two of those. So we've got quite a lot of thrusters going on at the back there. I mean, you can't really see the back of my ship. I can't get all the way over there, but that kind of works. Now for like the air intakes at the back. Well, what we need anyway is one of these sort of like reactors. So if I sandwich that right onto the back of there, that kind of looks cool anyway. And then what I used on my previous build was I used these little vents and stuck those in front of it. And it almost looks like the wires that pop out the top. You see those wires over at the back? Kind of works, kind of works. Alright, well I think this is coming together quite nicely now. That's giving it the Viper look. But what we need is these side rails. And I still haven't worked out how to build the side rails and look like they're slightly offset from the side of here. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I kind of feel that these would look nice there. And they do look nice. I mean, we haven't got those on this ship, have we, really? But I kind of like that. Alright, anyway, let's see what we can do. I don't know whether I need to make the nose slightly shorter, come to think of it. I think that does look a bit too long. So you know what? Let's move this. And let's go one step closer. So I still need the landing gear. Landing gear, these guys. So put that there, maybe. And then we need that opening, which was that one there. That kind of looks a little bit shorter. A little bit like that, yeah? Or do you think one more? I don't know. Is that too stubby like? Or is that... Or do I need to move the cockpit back? Maybe I need to move the cockpit back. But then I'd need to move this as well. So let's just do that quickly before I go too far in. Put the cockpit there. Ambassador walkway there. And then this guy in between the two there. That's it. I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah, that's more in keeping with that. That's more sandwiched up to that, isn't it? I think this is looking pretty darn sweet now. Now I've just got to work out how to do the side rails. I think maybe put another actually, hold on. If we use these bits, it might look like it's slightly separated. I quite like that. That's got the exposed engine-y pieces. Could probably go with that. And then if we can cover it with those top bits from over here, that could work. Right, I think that's looking fairly nice now. Now we've just got to build the side rails. Now I think the side rails are going to actually stick to the actual ship itself. And they come out almost as far as the actual nose, don't they? So I think, anyway, let's just double check. Are they in line? Yeah, they're just one step behind, and this kind of puts it one step behind as well. I think there, that works. And we need to flip that, don't we? Ah! I didn't know you could even put them at that angle. No, I want to continue working. Dang it, I always do that. Alright, which one is it? L2. There we are. Now we need some sort of side skirting that just goes all the way along. If I was to put that there, that doesn't quite work. It's kind of slightly out of joint, isn't it? What about this? If I was to put... No, that doesn't work. If I was to put that there, it's kind of side skirting, kind of not at the same time. It's almost like we need a part that isn't actually here. Just a sloping section that makes sense with that. You'd think that that and that would go hand in hand together, wouldn't you? Hold on. If I put it right there, does that work? Maybe. I can't really get away with doing that again. But what I could probably get away with is maybe then putting these sideways, right? Like that. Does that work? Kind of does, doesn't it? Kind of works. That does look like my heavy Viper. Do you think? You think I managed to do it? It's not quite right, is it? But it's not bad. That does look pretty in keeping. Has to be said. That does look pretty darn good. I think that's pretty close. I think that's kind of close enough, actually, isn't it? It does kind of work. You know what? I'm fairly happy with that. I think that looks pretty darn good. All right. Well, now let's do the colouring then. Let's go for. I like the weathered look. I really like the weathered look. Apply to all. Apply to Corvette. And then I want to make the colours correct to my logo ship. It's a shame I can't get a picture of it up right now. Okay, so if I go for this, then come out of there. Oh no! I pressed the wrong bloody button! No, I pressed the wrong button again. God! Oh, now what? What's happened now? I can't get any of the building parts. The game's just locked up on me. Oh, you're having a laugh. Chums, it just locked up on me. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that all again, aren't I? Yeah. I can't get it back up. Story of my life. Dang it! God, this game's janky at times, isn't it, people? Alright, fine. Okay, chums, well, I'm back in, and I've actually changed the sides up just a teeny tiny bit. So there we go. I've gone for that sort of look a little bit more. So I used some different pieces just on the sides here, but it's fairly similar to what I did before. To be honest, I couldn't exactly remember exactly what I did before. I've added in these pistons here, which I think look pretty darn sick. So yeah, it's still a heavy Viper, and it's still very much my logo colours at the moment. But what I'm going to do now, rather than muck about too much, I'm going to finalise design. No, I would if I put some weapons on. Let's get the weapons on, but before I do any colouring, just in case it goes all foobarred again, I kind of want to make like a little mini save at the moment. I'm thinking maybe just hide the shields inside of there. It's not like we're going to really see them, so that kind of works. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Okay, so we can hide the shields there. Now the actual positron ejectors I'm going to stick down under on the underside of the ship. Probably put them back here. One there and one there. And then with the phase beam, I only want one of those, and I'm going to stick that behind the landing legs right there. And then for the photon cannons, I'm sort of hiding all the guns underneath. I mean, they work anyway, no matter where you put them. I'm going to put these ones slightly further forwards. Come on. Go. Where have I put it on that side? One back from the triangular pieces, so there. Then the missiles, I tried to put those up on the sides here on my previous ship. There's not many places that they will sit. Darn it. Well, what I might have to do is, you see this piece here, I might have to take that out, but I kind of like the way that that looks. But I can't just have missiles floating up in midair, can I? I mean, I could stick one there, but that looks janky. All right, well, let's see. If I take that out and take that out, and then if I put something else inside of there, let's how about one of these connector block thingies? Where are they? Are they on this one? No, they're in this one. What about if I put in one of these that looks exposed? Can I put the missiles on top of those? Let's hope I can. Now they'd go there, yeah. And that kind of works. That still looks fairly cool. You know, looks pretty darn cool. I mean, what I could do now, just to add a little bit of variance to the wings. Well, that might work. Let's take those off for a second. Let's try those ones in there. That gives a little bit of variance to it, doesn't it? Or what I could do, I quite like these ones. These are nice, aren't they? Let's put one of those this side and leave the other one the other side. Let's do a compare. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's get rid of that and let's put that one there. I think that goes quite nice with the pistons just then on after. I think that looks quite cool. It's a shame that I can't separate the side rails just slightly. But other than that, I think that's my heavy Viper. I think that's my heavy Viper right there. Okay, right. Let's finalise design then. Let's compare that. Let's add it to the collection. Like yes. Oh, I love how the little landing platform comes down there. We're just going to take it out for a quick test flight. I mean, I can get in either that way, or I can go in through the nose cone over here. Now, what I haven't done yet is install the staircase to get us up to the cockpit. Why is that not closing? Right, I'll stand on it and then do it. That's weird. I don't know why it's not closing. Right, okay, anyway, let's put in the staircase. And that should take us up to the cockpit. Here we are, here's the cockpit. Nice one. We'll do all the interior and we'll do the colouring in a second. Let's just take it out and see how it looks. Like in the cockpit, looks quite nice from all directions. Let's have a look in the old camera mode. So it's a little bit different than the ship that I showed you at the start, mainly the wings and the side rails and that. But I did show you how I put together those wings. So I think you'll be able to work out exactly how I did it before. I mean, I did show you how I put the wings in. But I think that looks pretty darn freaking nice. Right, let's fly it back into the station. Let's do the interior and let's do the colour. Okay, chums, well, this is the ship colours that I have on my ship logo. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to put a little bit of red on the side wings, but it's very much inverse of what my old ship was. So red here and white at the end. Okay, well, that's what I'm going for, colour-wise. All right, well, let's get on out. Let's go do the colourings. There we go. Boom. It's a little bit weird that this isn't actually working. Does it work now? No, it doesn't. What's stopping it from working then? I mean, actually, it's only gone halfway up. Something's stopping that from working, and I don't know what it is. There must be some sort of... Oh. Now I can't go down that way. Okay, well, this is a little bit broken, isn't it? Oh, there we go. We've got round it. But now that I've got this as an entrance anyway, I don't overly need that, do I? I might just take that out, because that's a little bit of a hindrance, more so than anything, isn't it? It's probably those pistons that I put in, but I quite like the pistons. So I'm going to take that little landing section out, I think. Okay, so modify. Yeah, I think it's probably these that are blocking it, to be honest. It could be those, anyway. There could be 101 things, to be fair. I mean, let's face it. I mean, this game's pretty janky at the moment, isn't it, to say the least. But I do quite like those pistons being there, more so than this. I mean, it is nice to have that there, but it's a little bit of a bug bind. All right, well, we'll stick that in then. Let's just make sure I can still traverse my ship. Does mean a bit of a longer walk now to get to my ship, and I did like that as a bit of an entrance, you know. It's a shame that you got to do these things because of invisible blocking volumes and stuff. Yes, that's a bit of a walk, isn't it now? That's a bit of a walk. I don't like that. It's all right, but it's not brilliant because most of the time I want this closed for aesthetics. So what I could try and do is maybe put the landing bay in here, one forwards. Kind of defeats the point though, doesn't it? Now why isn't that opening? Great, now I can't get out my frickin' ship. I'm now officially stuck in my ship, people. Damn, this game is wobbly, isn't it? Alright, okay. What I need to do is fly out and fly back in again. The things you have to do. Well, chums, even though I'm actually in space right now, that door doesn't frickin' want to open. How weird. And there's literally nothing stopping that from opening. It's just so bugged. It's the only word for it, people. Nope, I literally can't get out of my own ship now. So, it's kind of pointless building the dang thing, isn't it? Yeah, I can't get out of it, so I'm going to have to... Honestly, don't know what to do. I mean, I can't call in another ship while I'm sitting inside this ship, can I? Let's see if that breaks the game even more. No, of course I can't. Alright, well, I'm going to have to fly into some, like, the Nexus, swap ships, and fly back and just pray that the frickin' opens. Why is this so broken? Don't get it. Well, if it doesn't open here, I think I'm going to have to dock to my freighter so I can teleport aboard. Because right now, this frickin' door just doesn't want to open for love nor money. Look, I can't get out. I'm frickin' stuck forever. Something jank has happened, people. I honestly don't know what, but it's not cricket, is it? I'm going to have to go and dock to my freighter to get out of my own ship. So there you go, chums. If you do manage to get yourself locked inside your own ship through whatever means, just dock to your freighter. And of course you can use your red button to teleport then, and then you can swap your ship. But there's no way I'm bloody doing this every time that I want to swap my ship or get out of my ship. That just takes the frickin' mick. Not impressed. Okay, then I guess what I'm going to have to do is fly out in one of these. Just take my little Heavy Viper over here. You can script this stuff, could you? Then I've got to fly back inside of the station, pull back in my Corvette, and try and work out what's causing all this squiffiness. I think it's going to be those pistons. I might just have to take them out. Right, let's call in my lovely Corvette. That one there. The Emosi of Death. Oh look, it's got its landing pad down now. But I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to do some heavy editing on this. I'm going to take those off, because I think that could be what's causing the problem. I'm also going to take those out for a moment. And look, my positron ejectors have decided to invert themselves. Could it have been that was causing the problems? Right, well, let's take that out. I do want that to work. I want that in. I want 2 freaking ways of getting out of my ship, just in case things go awry. Okay, right. So, now, what can I put in place of those things? Now, we know that we can't stick stuff on top of stuff too easily. You know what? I'm going to keep this simple, because I don't want to get bloody stuck. So I'm just going to put 2 more habs in. At least I can use it for storage or whatever, can't I? You know? And now that I've done that, I could just put those there. Or I could put if I put those in, they're going to ingress in. Let's get the missiles in, because the missiles are the most important thing, aren't they, really? Missiles. I could side mount them, and I might be able to put something on here that sort of half hides them. I do like to have, you know, plates and stuff there. I mean, these could look quite fitting there, couldn't they? No, it's not going to let me put those there now. What I might have to do is take these off, and then it'll probably let me put those other bits on. It's fun, isn't it? The sort of things you have to sort of work out. I put those there, and then put the rockets back on. Will the rockets sit quite nicely on top of those, though? That's the question. Or will they look like they're hovering in place? I could kind of set them back a bit like that. Yeah, that kind of works. That's all right. It's not as cool as it looked before, though, is it? With all the pistons and stuff. I really liked the way it looked before. But for whatever reason, computer said no. Yeah, I'm not going to put those there. Let's just keep it simple like that. It doesn't look as cool, does it? Oh, I'm gutted. Hold on. What about these things? I mean, those might look better, but then I don't think I'm going to be able to put the rockets there. Let's just give it a try. Let's take the rockets back off. Let's see if we can put these vents in. I think those vents look... Oh, my heavy fighter's just vanished. Alright. I think those look probably better. Maybe these ones might look... no. I think the taller ones look better. Like there and there. I mean, that's kind of more in keeping with what I had before. Well, with the heavy Viper. But now where are the rockets going to go? Ah, they can still go on the side. They do look a bit funny. Kind of works. You know what? I think that's probably better than what I had momentarily ago anyway. That will do. That will do. Alright, let's see if we can get in the bloody thing before I recolour it and spend too much time doing anything else. Let's just see if this little hatch here works now. Have I put it in the right place, though, is the question. Ah, it went up without me on it. It's working, though. And there's my staircase. Alright, that's working. I can now traverse my ship. So, I'll tell you what, let's do the insides first, then. Right, I'm going to put the mission console there. And I think I'm going to have my own bed right there. I mean, this is very much a solo ship, although you can have a crew in there. Now you want something that's not going to ingress into the staircase too much. That ingresses in, you see? It sticks out too far. So I want the refiner unit that side. And on this side, I think I might just put in a med bay. Yeah, neither of those are intruding into the staircase all too much. Alright, now down here, I'm going to be putting in my living wall. Yeah, we'll have one there, and I'll go through here, and we'll put in the other one there. And now we've got these extra hubs here, haven't we? So I can put in extra storage. Sweet. Okay. Go through here. We can put in extra storage. So that's one bonus of not having those pistons, even though those pistons look gnarly. Now a lot of people would be saying, Captain Steve, go into first person mode. It's so much easier. It really is, isn't it? So we go. And I'm going to put in some more storage units in a second. But what I need down here is a little bit of a kitchenette going on, I think. And you know what? I might have a double kitchenette. I have like a little kitcheny area. That'll work. And then let's go back into here. Stick that there. And that there. We can get in some more of those. One there. And one there. And I think that's pretty practical. Does this work now? Yes. Does it close again? Yes. We have a fully functional ship now, people. And we've got all the interior done. Alright, nice. Well, I'm going to go back upstairs, jump in my seat, out of my seat to create a save. Oh, God. And then we'll be doing the recolouring. Get up the frickin' stairs, you git. Okay, here we go. That wasn't harder than it needed to be, was it? Okay, right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle the colours. I'm going to use the weathered look, because that's my favourite. And I'm going to apply that to the whole of the ship first of all. Actually, I think maybe apply white and black to the whole ship first of all. And then we're just going to use this red colour in a second. And just do the tip of here, wasn't it? I think that was it, wasn't it? Let me just double check the image. Okay, so we want a red body, white tip. Alright, fine. Let's do that then, peeps. Okay, chums, I think I've kind of cracked it. Let's have a look. Oh, I somehow took the engine off. Alright, I think that kind of looks okay. I think that looks kind of about right. Maybe a little bit more red up here. Yeah, let's go a little bit more red up here. So there we go. Colour that. Oh, that. I want to get this underneath if I can. Seems to be doing the inside of the ship, not the piece I'm trying to hit. I'm trying to hit this hab. I was not really having it. Oh, you know what I might have to do is just go to apply to entire ship. Yeah. And then go back to this, because God knows why it's not letting me do it. Alright. It's a little bit finicky still, isn't it, really? Let's face it. And I think maybe even those white. That's white. That's white. Let's have a look at the engines. I quite like that. I think that kind of works. I think that looks a bit like my logo ship. Yeah, why not? I do. I do. I guess. Apply edits. Alright, then I guess I'm going to have to jump in and out just to save those changes, people. When I was recolouring it, I accidentally deleted the nose cone. And now the nose cone won't close. It just stays open the whole time. The inverse of what was happening before. It's not closing, see? Is this working? See, that closed, but that stayed open. Alright. Fudging heck. I think I know why. I think one button controls both. Stupidly. It's not my It's not my fault. It's the engine. Alright, so there we go, in here. So I think what I need to do is delete that. And delete this. Put that in. Make sure we've got it the right colour. Flip it round and put it in. Okay, now let's see if it bloody works. Oh no. That's down at the moment, where this is up. And I can't get that to work. You're having a laugh. No, it's not working. Look. That's closed now. What about this one? Does it work now? No. But that one has opened on its own. This sucks. This really sucks. It was working before I recoloured the bloody shit, wasn't it? God, I hate this. You know what? The entrance on the nose cone, I'm going to get rid of it. And we're just going to have that really wonky one that hardly ever works, which is probably a bad idea. Okay, here we go. Right, so I'm going to delete this off the end. I'm going to leave that on. It looks like it's open now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get one of these pieces here, and I'm going to invert it. I'm going to flip it that way up, and I'm going to make that red and weathered, and that'll do. What the flying fudge did you boxy delete it for? Okay, here we go. Put that there. Make it red. Make it weathered. Yeah. There we go. That'll do. I've got one entrance into the ship and one entrance only. If it scatters up, then I'm a bit buggered. Let's go see if it works. Yes! 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 Joy of joys! Happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay, right. Okay, there we are. That'll do. Right, I can jump in my ship, out of my ship. We can give this a name now as well. And I can make it all S-classed. God, this has been harder than it needs to be. Alright. And I'm going to call this Captain Steve's Logo Ship. Right, just in case you missed my previous videos on how to make a ship S-class and to go to town on its storage, you head on over to this machine over here at the back of the station. Now, as long as you're in creative mode, you can do all this for free. So, upgrade Starship. Here we go. I'm going to do the actual class first. There we are. You've got to do that a couple of times. I'll reconvene when it's S. Okay, John, so if I just go into camera mode, there's my old Heavy Viper. And there's my new Heavy Viper. Of course, with the colours sort of inverted. But yeah, they're kind of reminiscent of each other, I think. I think I've done an okay job of trying to make them look similar. I mean, yeah, I think it's about there or thereabouts. Pretty darn freaking sweet. Like, yeah! Mission completed, I think, people. Mission completed. Okay, now for the augmentation. So let's just pop on up here, and let's stick it all in. Right, that didn't go where I wanted it to go. Let's stick that there. Like the wind! Now, I don't think there's much point in doing the technology, like actually putting all the modules in, because right now there's a bug inside the game that your technology just moves around whenever it feels like it, and your stats go up and down, and they haven't patched that out yet, and I don't know when they're going to, so I will come back and do all the modules on this ship at some point. But there you go, now that's all S-classed up. I don't know why my little ship picture looks like it's missing half of the ship, or why it's got a black ball instead of a cockpit on it. But bugs or features? Make up your mind. Right, let's head on the stairs. Let's just jump in the seat, out of the seat to make a save now that it's all working and things feel okay. Let's get back in. Let's fly on out. I mean, I could just replace out my whole ship fleet with Corvette versions of each of the ships, couldn't I? I mean, I think this looks pretty darn cool. And it does look like my logo. Let's just put the sun up there for a second. I think that actually looks really quite cool. I think that looks very much like my Heavy Viper of old. And I'm really happy with the way that that looks. Let's have a look at the engines at the back of this thing. Heck yeah, that's looking cool. I did like it with the pistons more so than before. I mean, I might be able to put them all back in now that I've realised what the issue is. But I like the fact that I've got 2 extra habs there for extra storage capacity. Saves using the freighter as often. I really like the engine configuration. I do like everything about this ship. This is definitely a keeper, isn't it? Well, I think it is anyway. Hopefully you guys have liked this video. And if you're wondering how to put the side wings on, I mean, I did show the side wings at the start if you do want to make a more Alpha Vector-y type ship. But there you go. That's how you can make a ship based on the previous sort of fighters. And I wouldn't bother having 2 entrances to a ship. It just goes freaking wonky, doesn't it? It really does. Is my nose cone actually showing in red right now? No. Let's have a quick look. Make sure it's definitely red. Yep, it's red. That looks pretty darn cool. I like that. Heck yes. Lovely jubbly, people. Well, we got there in the end. We got there in the end, people. So, hopefully from the way that I made this ship, you can see how I made my previous ship. And if you can't, I mean, I don't want to mess about with it anymore for fear of breaking it. But yeah, oh, now stuck there somehow. Right, let's run out that way. Sweet! Alright people, well there you go. That's how I made a heavy Viper ship. But I think you can discern from that how I made the actual Alpha Vector as well. It's fairly simple in construction, to be fair, peeps. What isn't simple is making an entrance that you can get in and out of. As we saw, I got stuck, didn't I? Very much so indeed. Anyway, salute to Mondo. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again.
Steve